pat yourself on the back because you are right here, right now for a reason. Welcome to the On Purpose podcast, where together we will empower ourselves and others to live lives with more passion and purpose. How you doing this morning, Jarrod?
I'm great, my friend. How are you? You're looking sharp.
Feeling fantastic, man. Looking sharp, feeling sharp, and ready to rock. I got an introduction this morning at the Fort Collins Chamber of Commerce.
Nice.
Introducing the Loveland Toastmasters. So they know that I'm a Toastmaster advocate. They picked the right guy for the job. You got a busy day ahead?
Yeah, I have a good day, but I got to confess, man. Andrew and I took a quick trip to the beach over the weekend. An opportunity came up, so we jumped on it, and there was a chance to get out of the cold and away from winter, and I got there just in time for a record cold spell. So it was fucking awful.
Dude, you can't escape the cold.
Nothing is worse than ocean cold. Like Colorado cold, you can deal with it because you know it's chilly, but you get out to the beach, you see the ocean and the beach, and it's 40 degrees and humid and windy and raining.
It's like
sucked.
Chill to the bone.
It is, man, and it's kind of like you look at the ocean, you just want to play, but it's so cold you don't even want to go outside. So,
do you do cold showers?
I do cold showers, but not in the freaking ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the ocean's my playtime. Yeah, I like cold showers, but so I just chalked that up to the universe. One, I lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I flew all the way to the beach. It was still freezing cold, so apparently I'm supposed to be cold for a while.
Well, maybe you need to go a little harder on last week's purposeful practice with visualizing some heat. How did that go for you, your goal setting and visualization practice?
Dude, I love it. You know, I mean, it's something I do every morning as part of my morning routine. As I set my intentions for the day, I have some goals, and I visualize being where I want to be with the successes I want to have and the impact I want to create. So I love it. It's and I think that's truly where most people need to get to see success with it. It has to be done consistently. Mm-hmm. You know, if you try it every now and then, you're probably not going to see the results you want. But yeah, for me, it's just part of what I do, and it's kind of almost unconscious now. It's just part of my routine is to see where I'm wanting to be and to see how that success lines up and see how all this plays out. Yeah. How about you?
It's been great, man. I actually am doing this new meditation. I use this app called Insight Timer, and I really like this one I came across. It's called Manifest Your Desires, and it's this really attractive English woman with a pretty voice too. She's like, imagine your best life in the feelings, and it's like a 9.5 minute meditation. Yep. But that's really helped me with that visualization piece.
Is it free?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep, it's a free app.
Let's try to put that link in the bio, get some of our community to get over there and give it a try.
Yeah, Insight Timer, I like it. They have all types of categories.
Oh, very cool.
Of different meditations.
And I like 9.5 minutes. This is no scientific survey or anything, but I found for me that like that 9 to 10 minutes is like the perfect amount of time to really let my mind go to where I'm supposed to be. Get the feels in, see the successes, see the journey, be part of it, and still fit in my schedule.
Yeah.
I think any shorter than that, you really don't get to that deep, unconscious thought about things. Mm-hmm. And then for us, or at least for me, any longer than that, and I get to a point where I start being less mindless. Is that right? Less mindless. And I start thinking about, okay, I got to get going. I got to hear. That 10-minute mark is perfect for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And it's so vital because we're always going, always stuff in our mind where I've just recently realized how important trying to take some time to be still is. I'm reading this book right now called Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. Awesome book. And he talks about how one of the hardest things for a human being to do
is nothing.
Is sit in a room and be quiet. Like, that's the hardest thing for us to do, especially today. We got ding, ding, texts going off, emails going off, so it's nice. I finally feel like I've been getting a good rhythm with that meditation practice. You know, just 10 minutes a day, sit down, be quiet, breathe, just focus on that.
Yeah, and I love starting my day with it. It takes I get up earlier than everybody else in the house, so I have the stillness of the house. It's just quiet. It's just time for me to really reflect on myself. Mm-hmm. And I like starting a day like that.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Speaking of reflecting, man, we had an awesome community member submit their purposeful practice this last week that I really enjoyed reading. And we have some extra the On Purpose podcast t-shirts, which I've been wearing around. Wore them to a concert the other night, and people ask about it, man. They see that logo, they're like, what is that? That's a cool logo. So we're going to be giving out a few for free
Yeah.
on some On Purpose practice submissions over the next month or so, probably through the end of the year. We'll do a
Yeah.
few. So get those practices in, guys, and you may receive an On Purpose T-shirt.
And you rate us, give us some reviews. We're sneaking up on people on iTunes and Spotify right now, which is awesome. So we'll be watching those, and you may just get a DM from us, request an address, and we'll ship you a shirt. So part
Yeah,
of being in the community is helping the community grow, and we're thankful for all of you that are here. And we were just meeting last night talking about it. It's very humbling to be in this position.
yeah, yeah. Humbling and exciting. It's just the beginning, guys, for all of us. So thanks for being a part of the community. And let's get it going today with episode number 37, Problems You Once Wished For.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that title, and I love this concept because it hit me probably like in March, I think. So I'd been 3 months retired, 3 months leaving my day-to-day routine and what I had to do. Like, my days were so structured. I knew exactly what I was going to do all the time. It was so easy. And I left it, and then I found myself sitting there dreading doing the things that I was supposed to do. I didn't want to cold call people for my classes. I didn't want to follow up on the emails. I didn't want to get an editor for the book. And I could feel it. Like, I could just feel like I don't want to do any of this. And then I sat there and I thought, like, this is actually, like, 6 months ago, this was the day I dreamed of.
Yeah,
I literally dreamed of having all these problems, and now somehow I don't want them anymore. And I think a lot of us get that way. We have success in life, we have things that we achieve. Well, that achievement comes with more responsibility a lot of times, different problems, and then we start to resent being at the very place that for most of our life we had dreamt of getting to.
how do you think it became something that you looked at as a problem? Like, how did that mindset shift happen for you?
I think because it became real, right? Like, when I'm employed by somebody else and I'm doing what they assign me to do, and I'm not responsible for creating work, it comes to me and I handle it.
Hmm.
Well, all the stuff I want to do sits off on the side. And if I can get through the stuff they're making me do to work on the stuff I want to work on, then I get to. But there's always kind of that excuse of like, oh, if I had time, I'd work on this. If this was free, I would do this big project, or I'd really do this for myself. And then all of a sudden it becomes an option,
Hmm.
right? I leave that work, and now it's on me, and it becomes real. And I look at it, instead of just being a dream, it's actually possible. But to make it possible and to make it reality, I have to do work. And I think that's kind of where it's easy to shift our mind from our dreams becoming problems, is there's work associated with it. And it's easy to be like, man, what the hell? Why do I don't want to do all these little tasks, right? We talked about last week. Like, I like the big vision, not necessarily all the tasks.
Yeah.
But you got to realize that you can't get there without completing the task. So I think once it becomes real and it requires you to actually work towards what you said you wanted, it's easy for people to shy away and back up and go back to what was comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
What do you think on that?
I definitely have those. I mean, just recently we've had in my business a lot of personnel shifts, bought out my business partners recently. So even though I've owned my business for over 4 years now, it feels like I'm a startup again, and kind of like we're rebuilding the foundation. So recently I had to and still a little bit answering customer emails, customer things like that, and I caught myself like, oh, I want to talk to all these customers.
Yeah.
Like, oh, all these customers are so annoying. And I was like, listen to myself, like all of my customers, what
Yeah.
the hell am I saying?
Right.
Like, what a blessing, what a privilege to have lots of customers to the point to where I'm quote unquote annoyed
Yeah.
having to answer them. And I think sometimes I let this idea or perception of like, oh well, I need to be doing bigger picture stuff, but it really helps me. And I know it's not feasible to always be immersed in customer interaction. Like eventually, when you scale, you do have to outsource that. But I think that it's very important to always keep a finger on the pulse. Like if I'm, once I do get back to the point to where I'm not doing any customer interaction at all, which is it's getting there just about again. I am gonna remember to come back every now and then, even if it's just like, hey, like let me look at some emails, or let me take a couple calls, just see what people are saying. Is really good. But it's funny how my dream in college was like to start my own business, and there's so many times where I'm like, oh, like this is work, this is annoying. But the customer one, I remember being definitely one of those problems that I once wished for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. No, for me, I can tell you, owning a gym was a dream, right? Being able to go train whenever I wanted to train, and to have people join to be part of the community to train. And one of the first things is the bathrooms weren't clean enough. They just weren't. So literally every day I would come in, and in between classes, one of the things I'd do is I'd wipe down the bathrooms. And at first I didn't like it, and I was like, I should have somebody that does this. Like, why do I do this? And now I love it. Like, it sounds weird, I literally enjoy the 20 seconds, the 30 seconds it takes to wipe down each bathroom as we transition from one group of students to the next group of students to the next. Because it reminds me, like, that's probably the most disgusting job you can have in any business, is cleaning the bathrooms. But I get to clean the bathrooms in my business. I get to clean the bathrooms in a place that is one of my dreams come true. And that the people that come through those doors deserve to have a clean bathroom. And not only that, but by me taking the time to clean the bathroom, even though they don't know who cleans them, they don't see me do it, it's just my way of thanking them a little bit. You know what I mean? So I could be mad and pissed off, like, why do I have to clean bath? I could hire somebody for sure, but I kind of like it because it grounds me in the fact that, yeah, just because you have dreams and you're successful, there's still work to be done.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes doing the things that you think are beneath you or that you don't want to do is the best way to remind you of where you're going and how you've gotten there.
Yeah, I mean, the more successful we become, the more work there is,
Yeah.
And if you're getting help and outsourcing, that's great. But I think it's always important to humble yourself and to at least, like that one show, what is it, Undercover Boss?
Oh,
Have
I
you ever
love
seen
that
one of
show.
those?
Yeah.
Where they get back on the ground floor, like with
Yeah.
the janitors and all the employees and stuff. I think that's important as a business owner to at least have a finger on that pulse of like seeing what's going on in that realm.
Well, not even I agree on business, but I think for those of us in the community that are listening that don't have business, when you have your dreams and you have goals, realize there's hard work to be done. And just think about it, if your dream was easy, it wouldn't have been a dream. It wouldn't have been a dream because it's so easy, it's real. When you have big dreams, you have big goals, you have aspirations, there's going to be things along the way that you don't probably like to do, that you don't necessarily want to do. But how you frame doing those is going to be critical to your success. Or it could literally be a roadblock that keeps you from going there because you're not willing to do the work required.
Yeah. And it's all mindset too. It's amazing how powerful the mind is because it takes just as much energy to be pissed off. I have to clean the bathrooms.
Yeah.
It sucks. As it does to be like, man, I get to clean the bathrooms.
Yeah.
This is my business. What
We've
a privilege.
earned it.
Same amount of energy.
Yeah,
It's all
same thing
perspective.
for you, talking to your customers, right?
Yeah.
And think about this. Somebody has to talk to the customers. And if you dread talking to the customers, and you're like, customers this, what do your employees see?
Exactly.
Dread talking to the customers. Yet, without customers, you have no business,
Exactly.
right? And it applies to many facets of life. Like without this, I can't get to where I want to be. So why do I dread this?
Yeah.
Why is this such a problem that I'm upset and angry about it, and I don't want to do it? But when the reality is, 6 months ago, 3 years ago, whatever the time is, you dreamt of being in this position. You dreamt of having customers calling you because they want your product so much.
Yeah.
You dreamt of having things go wrong because you could learn and fix and make the next adjustment, which may be the ultimate success. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
man,
then
it's
we get
huge.
caught up in, because I think we have this vision of all this success and all these dreams coming true without our hands being dirty,
Oh, yeah.
without being in the work. And the reality is that is not possible. I've never met one person that has a dream come true that didn't work for it. So why is the work required to get there a problem? It's not.
No, it's not. And I had a challenging year because I had my mentality switched around that. I spent a lot of my time this year thinking, oh, I need to get investors and capital raise, and I need to fly to LA and Vegas and New York and meet venture capitalists and angel investors. And I was like, oh, it's such a problem that I don't have a massive team to handle all the day to day. Like
Right.
what a problem. Like I can't just be getting suited and booted and doing all this. And then I realized, like, no, the problem was that I was getting too far away from the work.
Yeah. You're
The
getting
work.
fancy.
And yeah, and like now today I scheduled 5 meetings. I'm driving to 5 different shops. I'm dropping off samples, mostly to purchase managers, owners, but some I still schedule just with an employee there. If I can't get them this week, I'm like, look, I'm going to leave it with you. I'll follow up with the manager, want
Love
your
it.
feedback, and I'm interacting with the community. And I'm just like, it's crazy because I like reflect on my year and I was like, oh man, it was it was a crazy 8 months to be in that mindset. However, I'm still grateful for that because I learned so much about a realm that I didn't know anything about, which is raising capital.
Yeah. So you gained experience.
Yeah.
But even if that had been the reality, right? And you'd have been super successful and you'd have raised all this capital immediately and you'd have brought on all this staff, you would just have a new set of problems. Because now you have personalities, you have employee performance, you have evaluations, you have HR. Right? Like we're never going to get away from problems. And for those of you listening, if you think there's this dream that if this happens and that happens, then I have this perfect little life with no problems, I'm just going to be honest with you, you're lying to yourself. If you have all the money in the world, you have problems. If you have no money in the world, you have problems. There are problems everywhere. So literally, you get to choose, how do you see your problems? Do you see your problems as being a good thing because it means you're growing and moving in a different direction? Or do you see them as barriers and obstacles that stop you from doing what you want to do and you just stay put?
Exactly.
Either way, they're there.
Yeah. Behind mountains are more mountains. And
Yeah, that's a great analogy, right? Like, how many times have you gone on these hikes and you're like, oh, I'm going to get to the top of this hill, enjoy the view, and you get up there and you're like, fuck, man, there's another mountain behind it.
yeah.
Like, I can't even see the view because I got to climb this guy.
Well, that's life. There's no point that we get to and we're like, oh, I'm done.
So why then do we find a lot of people live their life finding problems out of potential solutions, right? They spend their days looking for more problems on why they can't get somewhere. They see every opportunity as problems. So why is that so prevalent today? Why do you think we focus on the problems so much more than all the opportunities around us?
I think it's fear. It's excuses
Yeah.
to not execute. People
That's true.
will call it a problem and say, you can't do this, you can't do that. You speak to someone who's not executing, who's not living their life with purpose, and you tell them a massive goal, this huge dream that you have, they're going to tell you 50 ways why you might not get there, why you shouldn't do it before they tell you anything to do it. So I was reading a book recently about, it's called The Magic of Thinking Big. And he said, you know how I find great thinkers? I speak about what most people will think is an impossible problem and see how people react. So he had a crowd and
I love it.
he said, "Hey guys, how do you think we can end the jail system in 30 years, end prisons forever?" People are like, "Are you crazy? We would have criminals all over the place." Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. They're all giving excuses of how there's no way you could end the jail prison system in 30 years. And then he's like, okay, I understand, but work with me for just a second here. Let's be hypothetical and imagine that in 30 years from now, somehow we're gonna have a solution for this. Now, what's maybe one or two ideas of how we could get started? And then finally, people are like, well, we could have better education from the start, da da da, and then start.
They started finding solutions instead of more problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's like, he likes asking what people think are impossible questions and seeing how people react. And I think, unfortunately, most people go to the problems before the solution, even when it's not impossible, quote unquote impossible.
Right.
And I think it is based out of fear.
Yeah.
Fear of judgment, fear of failure.
Fear of actually having to do it. Right, and going back to how we started in March, why did I sit at my computer and resent the fact I had written a book? Why did I resent the fact that I was teaching on my own and public speaking? Why did I resent it? Because now all of a sudden it's real. When I had the other job, and this was just stuff I would do if I just had time, and I would do all this great stuff if I was just free to be creative and to be on my own. Well, that's all nice, right? But because I couldn't, I was structured, I had a job. Then all of a sudden I leave that, and now it's real in my face. And now it's up to me to actually make things happen. It's easy to sit back and go, oh boy, man, if only this would have been different and that would have been different. I could have been so much more, but it's the way it is.
Right.
But then when you're actually around people and they're like, hey, dude, you said you were doing this. Like, what happened? Like, where are you at?
Yeah. Well, and
you're
that's
like, right? Whoa, you're right. I did. I better get working.
That's it too. You said it's easy to sit back, right? Especially here in the United States. I mean, you can go to jail and you have food, shelter, community, friends. I mean, it's so easy here to be comfortable. So I think it's a mix of fear and comfort.
Comfort's
to where it's like,
one.
if I don't go for my dreams, I still got my friends, my house, my
yeah.
So you're it's like ET, right? You need to want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe.
Yeah.
You really need.
I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about the little alien ET or Eric Thomas.
No, yeah, Eric Thomas, a motivational speaker. He says you need to want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe.
Yeah.
And that's a great analogy, because if your why isn't powerful to overcome fear and comfort, it's going to be hard to make moves.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's easy to slide back into comfort. And then I would even add to it, so you got those things, and then who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And if everybody that's around you sees all the problems in the world and all the obstacles, and they're the kind of people that meet every Friday or Saturday, whether it's at a bar, the campfire, church, wherever you go, and all they do is sit around and talk about all the problems they would solve in the world, but they don't actually take any actions, then you're probably going to be sitting on the sidelines a long time yourself.
Oh yeah.
And I guess that's, to me, is, I think I've talked about this before, and you and I are on the same page. I don't want to have regrets. I don't know that I'll be super successful in all the dreams I have. I don't know how this plays out, but I do know this for a fact. If I don't try, I know how it ends. Period. If I don't ever even get in the game, I know I can't win. But by playing and getting on the field and learning and experiencing things and making mistakes and growing, at least now at the end of my life, I know that I tried. And I just wish more of us would think about, don't live today like you have tomorrow. Live today like you just lost one less day. So what do you need to be doing today to make sure you get the most out of today? And playing it safe and sitting on the sidelines and seeing everything in life as problems versus opportunities it's just going to keep you where you are. There's no way. You can't grow.
Yeah, you can't.
And man, it's far too short. Just having a birthday and stuff, I'm like, man, like if I'm halfway through life, I got to get to work.
Yeah.
I might have cruised a little too much earlier in life,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, definitely. So let me ask you this, Jarrod. What if anything in your life today
Yeah.
do you see as problems?
Man, I got a list of them. What do I see as problems? Raising teenagers, problematic, right? It's a huge problem. They live in your house, they eat your food, they are expensive, but you don't have control on their decisions. Like they're at that point, right, where they're flapping their wings, they're jumping out of the nest, but then they come back to the nest every night because it's safe. That's a huge problem. Being able to separate their dumb decisions from you and try to help them grow. But I think about, okay, yeah, it's hard. It's a very difficult time. But at one point, it was our dream to have a family, right? And not the perfect family, but a family. So is it a problem? Yeah, raising teenagers presents lots of problems. But I'm also grateful that we have a family to have these problems. Because if I didn't have kids, if I never had a family, like I don't know what I'd do right now. So I think there's problems in business, there's problems in relationships, there's problems raising kids. But one of the things I do every morning in my gratitude practice is I like to pick one or two things that are currently problems and be grateful for it.
Well, why do you put problems in quotes like that? Do you use like in your mind?
No.
Do you say it's a problem?
No.
What's the words you use?
In my head, it's opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
literally an opportunity. And I use the word problems because that's kind of what we topic this is, right? Problems
Right.
that I have today are what I once wished for. But when I'm down, when I'm negative, when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, they're problems, 100%.
Right. Yep.
When I'm moving forward, when I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, they're opportunities.
Right.
And, your kid makes a mistake. It's now an opportunity to coach them through it and help them learn lessons. You have success, and now with that success comes another opportunity which requires more work. It's an opportunity. It's not a problem. This success didn't create a new problem. It created more opportunities.
Exactly. And it goes back to that mindset to where your vocabulary and your mindset is huge.
Yes. What you tell yourself frames your frame. It's your thoughts. Right? If I say, oh, I got this problem, that problem, that problem, well, what am I telling the world? Like, don't give me any more. I can't handle it. It's problems. Whereas if I see opportunities, okay, this is an opportunity for me to help my son grow. This is an opportunity to help my daughters grow. This is an opportunity for me to grow. Okay, I made a mistake. I need to grow. Let me figure it out. Well, then I'm telling the world I'm open for opportunities.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm literally looking for opportunities.
Telling the world and telling your mind.
Yes.
Then that's when your mind focuses to be solution based instead of problem based. When you're saying your mind registers your vocabulary of saying this is a problem, your mind registers that it's a problem, it's an obstacle. You're going to have difficulty. When you think what an opportunity, your mind starts to bring up solutions. My good friend, he's my business partner at DatGrat, TJ Grissell. I remember complaining to him about an employee one time, being like, "Man, like, just this problem," and he goes, "What an opportunity!" He kind of interrupts me. He goes, "What an opportunity!" And I was just silent, like waiting for him to say something else. And then I was like, "Okay." He's like, "What an opportunity to grow as a leader.
Yeah.
That's a challenge." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And that. I find myself saying those three words when I come across an obstacle or something that's frustrating. Even right now with annoying court stuff, I'm like, what an opportunity. What an opportunity to learn
Well, you
some
would
of the
never
legal
have-
system,
yeah,
all this stuff.
Yeah, you would have never learned what you're learning now without going through it.
Yeah.
So, no, I agree. So I don't see problems. I see opportunities. And now, are there some opportunities I like more than others? Absolutely. But they are opportunities for me to grow and for us to learn and move forward and propel ourselves.
Yeah. So you said something earlier that I wanted to touch on.
Yeah.
I'm huge on gratitude.
Yeah.
That's my foundational tool to living my most purposeful life.
Right.
And have the movement DatGrat, daily action towards gratitude. How do you remind yourself, because it can be hard and sometimes annoying, sometimes of like, sometimes we just want to be negative, right?
Yeah.
And just want to, like, it's a problem, damn it, like, it's a problem, don't tell me to be grateful for it. How do you switch that mindset, especially when you're kind of deep in that negative state, and then get back to being in that state of like, I'm grateful for this problem, what an opportunity? Like, what's your process for that?
Yeah, that's interesting. First off, I think acknowledging that it's okay to have those cycles. You know, there's nothing wrong with you if you have those days where you constantly you see the negative of stuff. You're just not feeling grateful. Um, but what I try to do is not stay there very long.
Yeah.
You know, not. And here's what I'll tell you. I know that happens to me more often than not when I get out of my routine. So, like, even going to the beach this past weekend, we went from mountain time to eastern time, so my biological clock was all off. I was up way later uh, than I like to be up, which meant I slept in longer than I like. It threw me off. So I didn't do my gratitude practices at the time I like to do them. I didn't journal as much. It was freaking cold. It was rain. It was miserable. We watched way too much TV because it was like we just really couldn't do much outside. Um, so I didn't leave feeling like, oh, this was great, uplifting spirit. Like I was like, this is not what I want to be doing. But then you come back and accept it. Okay, like that was a moment. Okay, what did I learn from this? Um, whatever your lessons are there, and then get back to doing what you're supposed to do. And for me, the way I live, like I like my routine. I like to get to bed by a certain time. I like to get up at a certain time, and I like to do my gratitude first thing in the morning. So just, I guess, having that structure and that framework that it's okay if you have these negative moments. It's okay if you have these doubts where you're seeing problems instead of opportunities, but then having a structure to get you back on track so you're not spending extended periods of time there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
And I think it's the routine, you know what I mean? And it's you can't expect to jump from one extreme where all you see is problems and all your circle's problem finders and you just live in problems, and then wake up the next day and you're going to be in a completely different crowd of opportunists and entrepreneurs and blah, and I'm running all this. It's gradual. And it's small steps, like set a routine, have a gratitude practice in the morning, set your intentions right. Whatever it is that works for you, do it. And then start doing it. And slowly but surely, you'll see that momentum build and it'll start to shift for you. And then when you do have those bad moments, those bad days, you're able to regroup and get back on track quicker because you have a system in place to get you there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I love that you see gratitude as a practice, because we've interviewed for Dat Grat about 300 people now over the past 2 years, and so many people do not see it as a practice. They see gratitude as something that you express when someone does something nice for you, or something you do around Thanksgiving. But gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions that a human can have, and it is very similar to fitness. Yep. And to where when you're not exercising it, it's going to fade. And similar to fitness, people have their own vehicles that they prefer that will make them more consistent. Right? I hate running. You're not going to catch me doing 5Ks and half marathons, even though I did that one with
crutches.
You on crutches. Right? I'd rather crutch a 5K than run it. Not really, but running isn't my favorite. MMA, lifting weights. I love that. Everyone has their preferences, and with gratitude too. You're a big time journaler.
Yeah.
I like to vocalize out of my sunroof. That's my trigger. But same thing, like when I had my New Orleans trip recently, I felt a little fade in my fitness because I wasn't eating right. Didn't get my workouts in, and even though I had gratitude on the mind, I wasn't doing my intense practice that I usually do, and I felt that lower too. And it's literally, it makes you a magnet to attract more abundance into your life, because everything that you're grateful for in your life, the universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, gives you more to be grateful for. And I could feel my magnetic gratitude kind of fade a little bit. So I just wanted to hit on that because I think it's super important. And frankly, like, we're executing, we're achieving, we're living life with purpose. And for me, I can look at my life and I'm so grateful because everything that I've set out to achieve, health, wealth, love, happiness, I've achieved in some form.
Yeah.
Of course, we all want more. We're always trying to get to the next level, but I'm already so grateful for everything that I've already done. And because of that gratitude, because of that consistent practice, I'm seeing more and more of that come into my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's silly to not consider it a practice. Like, right, why would you not practice appreciating the people in your life? Why would you not practice being grateful for all you have instead of spending all your days staring at what you don't? It blows my mind, and quite honestly, I think it's one of the biggest reasons we have a lot of the problems we have in our world today is we're not grateful for much anymore. We expect, we expect, we expect. You should do this for me. That should happen for me. How about we try being grateful for what we have? And then with gratitude comes appreciation, right? Like if I'm grateful that 4 people watched this episode, I mean, I hope it's a lot more than that.
It is. I've checked the numbers.
But if 4 people watch and they get something out of this, I have an option now. I can be grateful that we impacted 4 people, or I could be pissed off that it's not 4 million. Which one serves you better? Like being grateful. And it is a skill and it's a practice. You got to do it every day, and it just frames how you approach things. If you wake up every day and you're like, okay, I'm just going to see whatever the world throws at me.
Yeah.
More often than not, you're going to get more bad than good.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because that's what the world feeds off of right now, right? There's a lot of negativity all around. But if you're like, hey, I'm grateful that I'm up today. I'm grateful that my family is alive. I'm grateful that my family has problems because we're growing. I'm grateful that the train was in my path again because it allowed me to sit and listen to my favorite song longer. I'm grateful for all this.
Yeah, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
That's high level practice.
Verse on the other side, I'm pissed off my kids have problems. I'm pissed off that this train's blocking my road. I'm pissed off that the light turned red. You're going to go all day pissed off? Guess what? You didn't control any of that, but you could be grateful for it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You said something that made me realize something. Do you think that, because I've always thought of gratitude practice, but when we hop on social media and when we have envy and we're wishing for things, do you think that we are actually practicing and what's the atrophying wishing and envy? Do you think
Like on social media?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it depends what you're there for. I mean, if you find yourself just scrolling through and not contributing, right, not wishing people well and saying congratulations, you just find yourself scrolling and reading but not adding value. Yeah, I think that you're not being gracious, and you're not practicing gratitude.
What you just said, it just dawned on me. I think even beyond that, not only you're not practicing gratitude, but you're practicing wishing. You're practicing envy, and you're getting more of that and attracting more of that into your life.
Right.
Of your continuously, just like you attract more abundance, you're attracting more of that feeling of needing.
Yeah, and social media is very interesting, right? Like Instagram's getting away from the likes. Right, they're going to quit publishing the likes so that people aren't focused on what posts get the most likes. It's a different way of recording metrics, but I think too many of us live our lives that way, right? Like we want to do things to get us the most likes every day instead of bring us the most joy. And instead of being grateful for what we have, we're looking for that next thing that people will like us more, to keeping up with the Jones mentality. So yeah, being grateful is a practice. The problems you have today, you've earned those problems somehow. You either earned them by moving up in your career, starting a business, advancing in whatever relationship you're in, so that you earn more problems, right? Because you get more responsibility, you get more problems or opportunities. Or you earn them by not taking a risk, staying where you're at, not moving forward, which presents a different course of problems and opportunities. Either way, what you're faced with today is what you've earned. I would rather earn things by seeing them as opportunities and moving forward so that I get more opportunities than sit back and just resent all the problems that seem to find their way into my life. Yeah. Because we all know that friend, right? That person that every day they would be doing something different, but this happened wrong and that happened wrong. Their car broke down. They got a flat tire. They couldn't be to work on time because of the train. Like, they always just have problems. And you're like, dude, do you realize, like, that's your life? Like, So how do you think this happens to you all the time? And I'll talk to students at the gym about this, right? When they come up and they're like, I got to take a break from training because this happened and that happened. I'm like, this is like the third month this year that all these things happen to you. What's the common denominator? It's you. It's you. Like literally, you're attracting all these problems. So like, let's talk about how can we shift this?
Yeah. It's
And
100% responsibility. There's a Chinese proverb that it says something like, there was a thunderstorm and the neighbor's tree got struck by lightning and fell on my house. It's my fault because my house was there. Like that.
yeah,
Like that's how you should look at everything. Like it's all
yeah,
your responsibility.
right.
And I love that one. It's something along those lines.
Yeah,
But I'm like,
I had to think about that for a second. Yeah, and I think that's in our society today. That's where we drop the ball a lot. Is nothing's our responsibility.
right.
It's always somebody else's issue.
Yeah, you gotta claim it. Claim
And
it
if you
all.
have problems, look at them and embrace them as opportunities for you to make changes.
Yeah.
If you're not happy where you're at, identify what are the three things that I need to change to move me forward, and then get working on them. And one thing I will tell you, one of the easiest, just to change how you view things. It doesn't require, you don't have to go back to school for it. It doesn't require advanced degrees. It doesn't require anybody else to do anything for you other than for you to shift. How do you look at the things that happen every day? Are they opportunities for you to grow, or are they problems to make you stay where you're at?
Yeah.
Period.
Most definitely. Again, one of the most powerful phrases that I've been using in the last year that's helped me out a lot with this is just to reframe when you start getting pissed off and a problem comes up. Just say, what an opportunity.
Yes.
What an opportunity. Tell that to your brain, and then your brain will start giving you reasons of why it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
So try that out. I have a question for you, Jarrod. On the other note of this,
Yeah.
have you ever had things to where you're executing, you're seeing everything
Yeah.
as opportunities, and then you achieve it, and you're like, yeah, and then you regret it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the one that comes to mind right now is buying that condo in Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we'd
yeah.
always wanted a beachfront property of our own. We had dreamed of it, and we made it happen. And then all of a sudden, we bought it, and it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Just the way there were a lot of logistical things behind it that I'm just like, I don't know. And then I started looking back at the process. I was like, okay, we may have rushed into this. I should have done more research. I should have known more about the market, and it wasn't. It didn't fulfill. Like it was a thing, not something that made me like super happy. So it came true. Like we had dreamt of this, it comes true, and then there's a whole other set of problems. But instead of sitting there and dwelling on it, we made moves with it, right? And then we were able to capitalize on it and put it up for sale, and we close on it in a couple weeks. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having dreams and getting there and being like, okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I don't want to stay here. And there's other dreams you'll get to, and you'll be like, hey, this is a lot of work. There's a lot of opportunities for me to grow here. Let me put in the effort. And that's kind of where I was at with the condo. Like, it just was not, the amount of work required to make it what I wanted just didn't feel good to me. I'd rather be putting that effort into other projects.
Yeah.
So it happened. We lived it. We can cross it off our vision board and our bucket list. But I'm not going to stay somewhere where I'm not happy. So we're selling it. We're going to move on to some other cool things.
Yeah.
What about you?
Nice. As far as stuff that I wish
Something
for,
that came true, and then
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
dude, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
yeah, for sure. Like similar stories, in business and stuff. But definitely, I've experienced a lot of that, like in relationships.
Yeah.
Kind of talking to a woman and being like, oh, she's smart, she's sexy, and then like getting into it and being like, oh man, this is not what I thought.
Right,
Have
right.
experienced that quite a bit.
But then you make changes.
Yeah, definitely make
Right,
changes and that's why I've only been in two serious long-term relationships and nothing nothing against the relationships that I've had. Like I'm grateful for them.
Yeah.
I've learned so much from them, and kind of referencing more like in the dating life of just like being really excited about something like,
Yeah.
oh, I really want to connect with this person, and then and same thing kind of too with business connections too as well, of being really excited. And really evaluating people just kind of on the front end or what their LinkedIn profile does or what they say, and then getting really to know somebody and realizing like, oh, it's not a good fit.
And so let me ask you this, Ollie, as we get ready to wrap up for the week, is how do you know then when you accomplish something that was on your dreams, it was on your goal, it was something you wanted, and you get there, and you're just like, I don't think this is where I'm supposed to be. What is your metric for deciding when it's time to shift gears and move on to something else versus stay there and put in work to move forward?
Growth. Am I growing from this? Am I growing? What's my return on investing time in this relationship, in this
Yeah.
opportunity? If I'm growing and I'm learning and I'm happy and I'm enjoying it, because there's times where I'm growing and learning, but I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I can't stand the person, or I can't stand
Yeah.
the environment, or whatever it is. So if I'm growing and learning and I enjoy it, I'm happy,
Yeah.
then it's worth it to me.
Okay, so we're on the same page because you hit the key word there. Literally, that is my metric. If there are more opportunities, so I get to a point where there's more opportunities coming at me and I enjoy the work required and I'm happy doing it, then it's worthwhile. If I get there and there's more opportunities and the work required, I don't enjoy it, it doesn't make me happy, it doesn't feel good to me, then I'm shifting gears. And that is the metric for me, is happiness, which is elusive, right? And a lot of people don't even know what makes them happy. So if you're one of those people that are like, I don't even know how to be happy, then you got to start figuring out, okay, what makes you happy, and then backtrack from there. But literally for me, if I'm happy doing it, I don't mind cleaning the bathrooms. I don't mind doing those things because I'm happy. And truthfully, if you think about it, almost everybody's pursuit in life is finding happiness.
Yeah.
So if you're fortunate enough to have dreams and goals that require you to work harder and to put in more hours and to solve problems and to interact with people and to learn from others, and it brings you joy and happiness, continue on the path.
Yeah.
If on the flip side you're having to do work and it's miserable, it's eating at your soul, you hate it, why are you going to continue to do this? Like, at what point will that change? Maybe you got to look for something else. So for me, like owning a beach condo, it was great to tell people I had a beach condo. People are like, oh, you own a beach condo, right? But it didn't bring me happiness. It brought, like, every time that I got the call from my property manager, from the maintenance people, like, I didn't enjoy working through the process with them. I was not happy with it. So I was like, okay, I'm not emotionally attached to just having this. Like, I'm going to get rid of that, and we're going to go something that makes us happier. And that's kind of how I approach all this.
Love it.
Working on the podcast makes us happy.
Yeah.
Right, and we get to sharing with the community and hearing the practice you guys are doing, and seeing the growth with our various community members. I enjoy that.
Oh, yeah.
So then I'm okay with all the opportunities that come up that we have to work to move forward to continue to share that. If I didn't enjoy it and I wasn't happy, I would find something else to do, because where I'm at in my life, happiness trumps everything else. If I'm happy and enjoying what I'm doing, I want to do more of it. If I'm miserable and I don't enjoy it, I want to do less of that, because I know, guess what? Whatever time I spent being miserable and unhappy, I lost, and I don't get a refund for it later in life.
Right. Not worth it. Not worth it. Ready to
Wrap
jump into
this
some
up.
practice?
Yeah, let's get some practice out there for our team.
All right, team. First part of practice is what problems, aka opportunities, because remember, we're looking at problems like opportunities moving forward, do you have today that you wished for in the past? Part 2 is, do you have a gratitude practice? Reflect on that. Feel free to email us, me personally as well, if you want some extra tips on cultivating your gratitude practice. And part 3, how can you remind yourself to be thankful for your current problems? Same thing there. And then most importantly, email your practice to onpurpose.official@gmail.com. And through the end of the year, there will be some free t-shirts given out to some of the community members who submit their practice.
Yeah,
So
and it's going to be random. Like, I don't want to have one of these contests where people see all the rules and they do step by step to try to win something for free. Like, we're going to re-practice and randomly send stuff off, because I value the community, and I want people investing in the community to make themselves better and to share that making others better.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you, Ali.
Appreciate
Great
you.
time as well. You're looking sharp. Good luck killing all the stuff on your busy day
Oh
today.
yeah, don't need luck. I'm prepared, baby.
I enjoy
Ready to
that.
rock.
Yeah, there's a quote out there that says, hope and luck are for the unprepared.
Right.
All right, and I enjoy that. So, for all of you listening, we appreciate you and we value you as members of our team. And remember, life is far too short to live any other way than on purpose. We will see everybody next week.